All right, here we are at the Big Rock Show. And so what do I do? What does Missile Baits do at one of these big shows? Well, we introduce the world to our newest baits and, show them the rest of the product line, the spunk shads and all that kind of stuff. Dealers come by from all over the country, and you want to see what the real deal is. So I'm going to tell you what the real deal is. Like, what are we telling our customers?
Just a reminder,
this is annoying. We get this all the time during these shows, but this is what happens.
Be turned in by 10 a.m.
They tell you all these instructions and stuff that's really annoying, but that's what you get at these shows. The real deal here.
All hot profit order forms must be turned in by 10 a.m. today at the Hot Profit booth for the information desk.
So, okay, thank you. But here we are at this show, showing off the big Monster Jig, and as you can see, it's a 10-aught VMC hook, huge hook. It's totally custom made. It's got the PTFE coating, that super slick. It's like Teflon type coating on there, so you get a really good hook up ratio. It's got that thick wire, but not too thick. We made it for bass fishing, but here at the show we've had pike guys jump all over it, muskie guys jump all over it. We wrote a number of orders here for people that want to use them exclusively for muskie. And then striper, snook guys have been all over it. So I think it's going to be really a multi-purpose jig, not just in the bass fishing world, but also in other species as well. Stuff that Missile Baits is not normally known for. But it comes in two sizes, a 1 ounce and an 1.5 ounces. These are both 1 ounce, 6 different colors. Just trying to match up with whatever you want to put on there. So the darker colors, you could put some kind of ridiculous giant craw on there. We are not selling this at this point. This is a discontinued craw that we found on the internet, just to kind of show people the type of things you could put on there. What you can put on there that we can sell you, or they could sell you at AA swim baits. This is the Big Bubba shad, the 7-inch. Fits perfectly on there. This is the Ghost shad. Fits perfectly with shad flash. I mean, looks amazing. And then with our green gizzard color, the Ghost minnow color fits perfectly on there. So those are available. They're very inexpensive, but they have a nice tail thump, nice thickness. They use a lot of these for stripers, really all over the country. But if you want to catch big old bass with a big old mouth like that on it, that's what you want to put on there. So you can see it fits perfectly. It's very, proportional hook size to the body size of this. You still have a nice gap to where you're going to get a good hook set. And I think that's the reason that we went with the 10-aught hook, not just like a 6 or 7 or 8-aught. We wanted that full 10-aught so you could get a good hook set, because the bass, like a 10 or 12 pound bass, has a big, huge, giant mouth, right? Huge mouth. We take these little tiny hooks and try to hook it inside of that big mouth. A lot of times it just doesn't work. You'll skin hook it, you'll just get a little bit of meat. You won't really get to dig that hook into their mouth, and then what happens? Catch that 10, 12 pounder, you hook it, and then it turns around and jumps off. That's what we did not want to happen with the Monster Jig. So as you can see, even with a big piece of plastic on there, you've got a big bite. You've got a lot. So that thing's gonna slide into that big, huge bass's mouth, or pike or muskie, or whatever you want to fish with. It's still got plenty of bite to where you can get that hook in there, latch onto it. That fish should not come off. Like, plenty of strength there. So you take that, put it on 20, 25 pound mono or fluorocarbon. You can use it on braid, 50, 60, 80, whatever you're fishing with. You might have to have a leader if you're fishing with muskie or pike, because you don't want them to go zoo that thing right off. But that's really what we're doing here, just talking to customers, showing them in person. We've had a number of people come by, and once they see it and put it in their hand, it all clicks. It all makes sense to them now. They're like, okay, I get it. Like, initially you see that hook and how big it is, and you think, what am I going to do with that? Like, you can't put a Zoom, big salty chunk on the back. It wouldn't look right. It doesn't work. But once you see it with like a big swim bait on the back, or some kind of ridiculous giant craw on the back, then it's like, I get it. You're not fishing for 2 pounders. You're fishing for the biggest bass in the area, or if you want to be fishing for some other species, you can do that as well. So that's what we do here at these kind of distributor shows. Talk to a lot of dealers, go out to dinner with some of them, talk about life, talk about fishing, talk about baits, talk about boats a lot of talk about boats, but that's what we do here, and that's really the kind of behind the scenes portion of what happens with the Monster Jig, and that's our latest product here at the Big Rock Show, and they'll be in stores very, very soon.